Time to lay down some lines.
Este on mono. All right, everyone. Welcome to ley lines, where we lay all of the lines. So they're laid. That's what the contractor was contracted to do, and they laid the lines. It was a very cheap job because there's barely any safety, safety precautions, and it's a tripping hazard, and it's an exposed wires, so it's just not good. I don't know who approved this map. In the southwest corner of the map, all the way from the land of South Korea, it is our Blue Terran playing for Team Liquid. Give it up for Cure.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the Polish Protoss player, the Red Protoss representing Offside Esports. It is Krystianer.
Okay, I may, by risking dating myself, do you know the band The Cure?
I have heard of it. I could not tell you any of their songs.
It's like an 80s kind of band. Yeah. So when introduced Cure, I thought of humming some song by The Cure, and then even I couldn't remember any. And then I realized, if I can't even remember, nobody in the chat will definitely remember. And they have a couple of famous songs, but they were famous 30 years ago, so...
They were famous before Yaku was born, which is not that long ago, but still.
It's not that impressive, to be fair.
It's true.
Right about non-Korean, non-Latin music, yes. That's what I was asking. I was like, do you even know this thing from the 80s?
I've heard of the name The Cure. I've heard through other like pop culture memes. But that's it. For now, though, we're settling into our game. So far, we do have a more aggressive start at a Cure. Double gas open into a faster factory. Meanwhile, Krystianer, he does open up with a Twilight Council. Looks like a standard setup here by Krystianer. We'll keep an eye on that probe to see if it's just for scouting or if he does some shenanigans with his probe out on the map.
Oh, you don't know Depeche Mode? Well, that makes sense. If he doesn't know The Cure, he wouldn't know Depeche Mode either. It's kind of like the same genre, same era.
I've heard of The Cure. I've never heard of Depeche Mode.
You probably have heard what you'll recognize at least one or two of their songs. You probably heard them somewhere. Okay. But I'm not surprised you don't know like the band. It's like a very edgy goth type band.
Do they speak Korean?
No, they're British, I think.
Okay.
I believe. I think they're British. Look, this is old music for me. Okay. This is not even my stuff.
Fair enough.
I was born in the 80s, but I grew up in the 90s. 90s was the music I grew up with. Like Depeche Mode and The Cure. That's the stuff that I knew by osmosis from the 80s because that's what my older brothers and their generation were listening to.
Fair. But we do have our openers once again. We do have Cure going for actually a little bit more of a committed mine drop. Okay, so 3 wood mines being sent across the map. Meanwhile, Krystianer, he does open up with his initial very greedy build, by the way. He goes for a 2-gate blink. He rushes into his third base before the gateway is even done. So this is an insanely greedy build here out of Krystianer. It does mean that his stalker count is a little bit lower. We'll see if he can keep up with the drop play.
Krystianer does catch the incoming Medivac with the probe there, scouting probe. So does have stalkers in position. We're gonna lose a few workers nevertheless. The micro may not be perfect here. And loses a couple of stalkers as well.
Yeah, that was brutal. That was 6 probes going down with 1 mine connection. So a brutal connection here into that main base. Despite being able to zone away, that is some very nice damage. And Cure, he's not done. He still has 1 widow mine left in the Medivac.
Kind of disappointing, Krystianer saw that coming. He had the stalkers in position and still gets hit with that widow mine shot. That's That's gotta hurt.
Yeah, it did underestimate the threat, the power of the Widowmine, and did get punished for it. Behind this, we have extra axes on the way. Cure is going to be building up back at home, getting ready for his eventual tank move out. Not moving out yet, but is building up towards it.
There's a bit of a push coming out of Cure. Does he have any medivacs left here? No, there's just the one at the back of the main base of Krystianer.
Yeah.
Raven does some damage here as well, getting some distraction, but yeah, Cure is pushing with no backup for these units.
Well, this is hyper aggressive. And Akira, he's pushing without stim. Like, stim just began, so 0 upgrades. It's purely vanilla Marines. The power of this push is the tanks themselves, so very committed, very aggressive, very risky, but he does get on top of the Nexus, and the Nexus is under fire.
Yeah. Tanks get to siege up in a good position. The Marines are here for extra protection, but the blink forward comes in. Does snipe one of the tanks, 2 of the tanks, and the Immortal tacking up some damage from the Marines. And this attack gets thwarted.
Very nice engage here from Krystianer. He did target down the tank further back, further behind.
Widowmine in the main base! Widowmine in the main base!
Yeah, Widowmine does pop off. This time Krystianer, he does react in time, and so far he is all over this. Does beat out a couple of workers, but Cure just lost his entire army, and now it's time to counterattack.
Yeah, that's not the best place to be, but Terran production is robust. Steam isn't finished, combat shield isn't finished, +1 weapons isn't finished, but the armor orders in this army, I don't know if this is enough though.
I mean, the boys are being
Walkers
pulled.
are being pulled.
Yeah, a couple of SCs do go down. They're armor orders, but that's what the Immortal's going to be for.
Cure just needs to buy a little bit more time, but I don't know if he can. The Immortal does go down. That's kind of ends this push. This is great for Cure.
Yeah, Cure.
And it does some damage on the other side of the map while this is going on. The Widowmine drop and the Raven are still doing damage there.
Yeah, very, very intense moment here. Cure, as you mentioned, did barely survive. It cost him a lot. Again, he lost a lot of tanks, lost a lot of marauders as well. Cure, he has lost a little momentum here in this game, but he does survive. And upon surviving, 3rd CC gets thrown down.
And it's not just surviving, because he had all of these bio upgrades finished. And look at his supply right now. Terran production is not to be underestimated, especially the bio production. If he manages to buy 1 minute of game time, he can rebuild an entire army.
Got out. No, Krystianer, calm down.
Oh, no, Stalkers, please. This is your fault. You're being punished.
No,
You
like
let that
this.
Widowmine kill so many workers.
Takes down one of his own Stalkers. Meanwhile, does go for a backstab and is going to get some SCVs, but last the army does race back home, and oh, the recall does miss 2 of those Stalkers.
It does keep Cure on this side of the map a little bit longer, though. This is good buying time for Krystianer to get some more Immortals out, to get some upgrades out, a few more shield batteries. This was a good move.
Yeah, but not quite worth losing all those Stalkers, and now Cure is getting ready for his counterattack. That Krystianer, he needs to buy more time for extra Zealot Warbins. Like, Zealots here are what he needs to try to buy, to try to buffer for his army. Cure's moving out there.
+1 weapons, not quite finished for Krystianer. Cure is pushing in. Shield batteries are helping Krystianer here, and the charge rods are coming in. They don't quite have the damage though, and they do go down to some of those Widow mines. But Cure just doesn't have enough to keep on pushing. No tanks, no nothing.
Yeah, Widowmines are going to be cleaned up. The Zealots did do a great job here just buffering and just tanking those shots. And with that Krystianer, he will hold.
Very much hold, and now he might actually be in a position to counterattack. Cure's army is still pretty strong, but as long as Krystianer can keep Cure on his side of the map, you know, he can get that 4th base that he's getting right now, get some Colossi, you know, and is golden for the game.
Yeah, Krystianer, he does pull back, as you mentioned, getting his 4th base. Just now working on his splash damage. Now, his splash damage is still a ways off to really get robust, but he's on the road here for his Colossus, eventual Storm, eventual Disruptors. He is getting there. Right now, the pressure's on the pressure's on Cure to be more active, more aggressive, to get something done with this army.
Krystianer has units all over the map, trying to see where Cure is coming in from next, and he's prepared. Up there in the ramp, we got force fields. catching up some of this army. Gonna have to be hot medevaced, hot lifted.
Yeah,
There is a counterattack on the other side of the map.
Yeah, hopping up there as he does get away at the same time. Zealot run by, gets a couple of SCVs, but Cure, was in position to defend. He does defend back at home. He likewise gets some trades here across the map. He at least does confirm that Colossus are building up.
Thermal Lance isn't even finished. Once that goes up and there's a couple of Colossi, this bio army is in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, to help deal with
I've said this before, but once you have a bunch of Colossi with Thermal Lance and plus upgrades, you basically have unlimited Storm in your army that you don't have to, you know, micromanage.
Yeah, thankfully, Cure, he did scout this, so behind this we have Viking production underway. That's going to be his answer to the Colossi. Likewise, getting to a very Marauder-heavy composition as well, making 3 Marauders at a time, and we'll see how Cure can pull apart his opponent here. He does split up his army. He has two forces, one towards the north, one towards the south.
That could be the thing he needs. I mean, he can get one base if Krystianer doesn't split his attentions properly. And going into the not to the third base here, while the fifth base might actually go down. He's actually more busy defending at home right now. Okay, does get a cancel on the fifth base of Krystianer. Maybe going to go into the fourth. There's a Colossus here that might get sniped. There's not a lot to defend it.
Exactly. It was tempting to go for it, but Cure, he does back off. He securely does deny the 5th expansion, so nice pick off here on that Nexus. Back at home, he does defend. The Zealot run-by is dealt with, and Krystianer, he consolidates his forces. He does rally everything towards the south side.
But Cure also gets to consolidate his forces, and he has more.
Yeah, Cure, he
and
is
with better
going to be...
upgrades to boot.
Yeah, he's going to be maxing out at the same time. Oh, part of the forces do get caught out.
Oh, but the 3 Colossi, with the thermal lances and everything, it's just too powerful against the bio units.
Yeah, just really nice setup
Cure
there.
just now starting to get Vikings.
Yeah, he did snipe 2 Vikings already, going to be pushing on forward. Likewise, he was able to force with the army towards the south side. So let's respect this concave, though, as we cover the first Colossus is going to be going down.
Oh, but they're all lining up for the Colossites, dude. This is not the best position.
Yeah, exactly. Zealots ahead do come in to reinforce once again to buffer. Another Colossus does fall down to 1 Colossus.
The Vikings are taking down the Colossi, but all of the bio army is disappeared. It is going to be enough. The Vikings land. A Zealot run by from the side. This is rough for Cure, but if he can buy enough time and get some more bio out, he should be okay. However, Krystianer is rebuilding his 5th base. And Cure is still stuck on 3 bases here.
Now, unfortunately, Krystianer, he didn't have a War Prism, so his reinforcements take a long time to come in from across the map. So with that, Cure, he's being given enough time to survive, to stabilize here on his 3 bases. But as you mentioned, Krystianer, he has so much more behind this. The 5th base is getting up and running.
Krystianer is setting up another Zealot run-by into the natural base of Cure. I don't know, does it even have any minerals? It barely has even have any minerals anymore. Cure is starving for expansions. He has to expand now.
Yeah, I mean, he had a 4th base, but if you recall, the 4th base was sniped earlier when we did see the Protoss army come in, so that was killed. He has yet to rebuild it, and likewise, Krystianer now getting to a 2nd Robo into double Disruptor production.
And taking a 6th base for good measure. Why not? Cure might be able to snipe that, but it's not going to be enough to kill Krystianer.
Exactly. I mean, Cure, he does keep up when it comes to the size of the army here, but what's important, as you mentioned, is the economy, is being able to sustain that army.
Yeah, Cure gets that, but this is far from enough. And Krystianer might be in a position to actually deny Cure getting a 4th base.
Yeah, so far the army's
they're still fighting on 2 sides of the map.
Yeah, Krystianer, he does shut down the northern force. At the same time, Cure moving in towards the south side. He has a lot of Vikings, but now there are no Colossus, it's Disruptors instead.
The Vikings, they're not really useful anymore. They need to be on the ground. There's nothing for them to shoot up in the air.
Yeah, Krystianer, he breaks through that initial defensive line, now getting to the mineral line. This mineral line is so important here to Cure, and SCVs are going down.
And Krystianer is pushing from the south as well, trying to get a pincer maneuver on this army. The disruptor, one good disruptor shot can kill most of these bio units. It's very dangerous for Pure right now.
Yeah, disruptors are moving in. Nova goes off. We get a decent connection, but there are 2 more Novas left over.
Another Zealot charge by from the flank. And Krystianer is starting to slowly dismantle Cure's position here. And this is the only really mining base that Cure has right now.
Yeah, exactly. Curie's just being pulled apart left and right here by Krystianer. Curie, he does somewhat maintain that center expansion. He mules his heart out as best he can. Looks like with his reinforcements, he will save the expansion, but at the same time, Novas, they do go off and brutal connections here on Cure's army.
Well, Cure is turning up the tide, sniping all of these disruptors. Sorry. I had a visceral reaction to this right now. That was so close. That was so close, jumping on top of that disruptor like beyond. That was a heart attack inducing situation.
Yeah.
But Cure manages to snipe the disruptors. That's pretty good. That keeps him in the game.
Yeah, he does snipe some of the disruptors. Meanwhile, more disruptors do come in to reinforce. Krystianer pushing in once again. The army here is getting very overstint for Cure.
Krystianer still keeps pushing. Is he bringing more reinforcements? It's mostly just charge lots and disruptors at the moment. That's not gonna be enough, I think.
Yeah, I mean, he knows that he's so close to breaking his opponent. He knows that he's ahead, right? Like, Krystianer, he is in a better position, and clearly he wants to end the game. He wants to end the game. He doesn't want to go into, like, Sky Toss or Tech Up into, like, another expansion, into more gases. Nova's going to be going off, and he does graze the army.
Yeah, but that's not enough. The Cure can keep this attack thwarted. Also, I like that Cure made a Ghost Academy something like 7 minutes ago, and hasn't made anything from it yet because he's been on the ropes since then.
Yeah, he really has been, and he is kiting so well. But we mentioned this earlier here, the medevacs, they're out of energy. The army is getting low. Another Nova goes off, and this army just doesn't have much longevity. Not anymore.
All these so many medevacs. That's 11 medevacs. He has more medevacs than Marines right now.
Yeah,
no.
And they have no energy. They just can't do anything, and the Zealot army will overwhelm. We have the Sea of Zealots. The Swarm Toss is coming in, catching out those Marauders, and Krystianer, he says, welcome to Sparkling Tuna Cup, Pappy. It's his first time here, and he runs into Krystianer himself. Let's go, Pappy, let's go.
Oh boy, yeah, getting into this mineral line, this is like the last mining base for Cure. Everything else is pretty much mined out or getting attacked anyway. So we're going to see Cure's income drop to practically nothing in a second.
Yeah, the base goes down. As you mentioned, that was natural. That did float over. Now we did actually float over the main base as the northern expansion. So Cure, he does have a full base up and running.
Oh, he does
on a one base economy.
Yeah, that's not where you want to be. Krystianer just keeps on pummeling these bases over and over again. And Cure keeps in the game, but he has to do it by constantly remaking his army over and over and over again. 83 Marauders died this game. 144 Marines.
That's a lot of Marauders, a lot of Marines here. And the Colossus now, they reign supreme. This time, no Vikings. GG gets called, and Krystianer, he will take game number 1. Will take a lead in the series.
Ooh, that was an intense game. 19 minutes. Wow. I don't know why that felt like 7 minutes. Because it just wasn't stopping for a second. Wow.
Yeah, once the ball started rolling, it just did not stop. Again, Krystianer, he did find himself with a lead. Basically, the moment that Cure lost his first push, if you remember when he moved out before Stim, before any upgrades with his first 2 tanks, he was very committed to the third base, and he needed to kill the third. I assumed that he would, but if you remember, he didn't. He did lose the entire army. That was the moment that Krystianer took a lead and never quite let it go. It was still very close, though. Still very intense.
Ooh. That was rough, but you know, all the respect for Cure from just managing the crisis management on Cure is just amazing. Like, most other Terrans would have just died there. Would just, never even stayed in the game, let alone managed to drag it on for 19 minutes. But, yeah, Cure is good. He's a good Terran.
Yeah, and we'll see if he can recover as we are loading into game number 2. Game 2 is going to be on Persephone. Also, a big shout out to Lick in the chat. Thank you so much for the raid. Thank you so much. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great time competing in today's tournament. Thank you. Welcome.
It takes a lot of skill to print zealots like that. Yes. Talking about the printer. Talking about Starduck, the adept printer.
True.
If you remember that stupid meme. Alright, everyone. Speaking of old ancient memes, we are on Persephone, which brings spring and death, because those two always go together for some reason. In the southwest corner of the map, all the way from the land of South Korea, representing Team Liquid, our blue Terran, is in fact the Cure.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the Polish Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Offside Esports. It is Krystianer.
Okay, so now that Cure knows what he's up against, is he going to be a little more prepared?
I would imagine he's going to be less aggressive this time. Like, again, we did mention how he was being a little bit cheap. I mean, there's a lot that came into the first push. If you remember, Krystianer was hyper greedy. Krystianer, he did go for a third Nexus before second Gateway. Like, it was insane greed at Krystianer. So Cure, he was baited into his attack, which was unsuccessful, right? We're talking about the first tank push. So most likely this time Cure is going to calm down a little bit. He was successful with the mine drop, of course, but most likely will be heading towards some later aggression, I would imagine.
It's just the mine drop, it was also a Raven, so Cure just put a lot of efforts into the harassment more than the actual push, and then committed to the push, and the push got denied.
Yeah. And again, the harassment was good. Like, the harassment was solid, but as you kind of mentioned, like, it did also mean that the move at itself was a little bit weaker. So we'll see how Cure will adjust. Once again, double gas opener out of Cure, going for a faster factory, but this can lead into mine drop, into cloak banshee. This can lead into cyclone, reactor reaper hellion. So Cure does have options coming into a fresh map for today, for the first time. Not ley lines.
And
crazy.
if you look at if you will look at the southeast corner of Persephone, there is a cheeky probe hiding there.
Yeah, there's a probe out on the map. It's going to be another Twilight Council opener out of Krystianer. This should be for Blink, but if we get... Oh, never mind. I was going to say if we get a pylon, then we could try to go for something crazy like a Proxy Dark Shrine. But Krystianer, he's just going in for a
just going to scout.
Yeah.
It's so disappointing. I was trying to hype up this thing, and like, no, it's just the probe scouting.
And he does get a full scout of the main base. It's going to be the 1-1-1. No add-on swap on the factory, so there's no reactor on said factory, instead of going straight for an earlier cyclone.
Krystianer going for a quick blink. Gonna have much better ways to deal with harassments this time. Even against the Cyclones, especially against Cyclones. It's so annoying. You can just blink on top of them and get them before they manage to kite away from you. It's very important.
Yeah, as we are mixing things up on both sides. So here, there's no Widowmines, so no Widowmine drop this time from Cure, instead going for what looks to be a Marine, potentially even Cyclone move out early on. Meanwhile, Krystianer goes for extra gateways. Last game, he got his third base by the time his second gateway was halfway done. Here, 4 gates blink out of Krystianer. Hyper aggression out of the Protoss.
It's going to be a tank drop, Cyclone drop? No, Cyclone Marines drop. I mean, it's good on this map, you have that little ledge there that you can drop into. It's away from the main path, but there is a scouting adept here for Krystianer, so sees this coming. Blink not quite finished, so gonna be a little bit difficult to snipe these units.
Yeah, the medevac is gonna be
targeted down. The medevac does go down. Yes,
that will lock down the army. One Stalker does fall. A little bit of miscontrol there from Krystianer. He does blink away just barely in time, saving a Stalker. Saves the other Stalker as well. Very clutch control here. But does he have enough? Because Cyclones are going for the middle line, going for the probes.
Gonna lose 7 probes, but that's not the end of the world. I mean, he does kill a Medivac, a Cyclone, 4 Marines, and a Reaper for that. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it does trade, and now it's time to counterattack. Krystianer, he does get his third base, but remember, behind this, he's on 4 gateways. But we are missing something here. There is no War Prism. There should be one by now. Without a War Prism, Krystianer, he cannot reinforce across the map, which means Krystianer, he can contain, but most likely he will not move in.
I don't think he wants to move in. It looks like he's just sending a handful of Stalkers there to make a show of force, to keep Cure on this side of the map, and he's got the bunker, and he's got the Cure is preparing for a counterattack that's not coming. And he's losing time doing that, but because Krystianer gets to set up this third base and work her up.
Yeah, so Cure, he should be stuck at home until Stim finishes, and Stim is about to begin, so he's going to be stuck at home for the near future. Meanwhile, he does move out with his auto turret, will harass the middle line. Krystianer, he has some units to prepare to defend, to react, and he will shut down the turret.
Yeah, doesn't get even 1 kill, I think. Or is it? No, try to click the... No, Dervin does get 1 kill. 1 probe.
Okay, 1 probe goes down. Behind this, we do have a gateway explosion, and Krystianer, he's going to be going into earlier charge. He's going to be delaying his splash damage, so faster charge ults, later Colossus instead, and we're getting ready for a longer game.
These Stalkers, I mean, for Q, it must look like, oh, there's a Protoss army in my doorstep. But we know it's just 4 Stalkers, just so vulnerable, just standing there, and just steam towards them and they're dead. So precarious.
But again, like Cure, he can't really do much about this. Like, he can't move out. As we mentioned, he's still waiting for Stim. Like, he's waiting for his upgrades. Once Stim finishes, then he can start to break out and start to expand.
But Krystianer is really making use of this time really, really well. The third base is up and running. He's probing up. He's getting his tech. That robotics bay is up. Going for the Colossi of the future. He's getting his upgrades, his charge, his +1 weapons. His immortal count is going up as well. He's going to be in a great position to defend any push out that Cure will bring.
Yeah, the first Colossus should be up at the time Cure gets across the map if he does commit. I believe it should be lined up in such a way, but we'll see as Krystianer is trying to keep tabs on the main army. Right now, the goal for Krystianer is to scout the move out. If Cure pushes, he needs to know what's coming.
Krystianer is setting up a Zealot run-by in the southeast. Will probably trigger once he draws the army of Cure on the other side of the map. Like I said, these Stalkers are gonna die.
Yeah, that was a big slip up there from Krystianer. That should not have happened. All 4 Stalkers go down. He did miss the blink as he wasn't quite paying attention. And with that, now Krystianer, he has limited vision. Now, thankfully, he does have the Observer. He does see the move out.
And the charge rods are going into the natural base of Cure and brings the entire army back. This buys Krystianer so much more time.
And again, he needs that time here as he rebuilds those Stalkers. Yeah, it's going to be 9 or almost 10 SCV kills. The Cure, he turns back around once again. He's going top right. He's going for that fresh 4th base of Krystianer.
He'll probably get a cancel on that, but that's not the end of the world for Krystianer. So long as he gets his tech units up and running. He's got 1 Colossus and a second one on the way. Oh, there's no cancel. It was finished. Ooh, the chargers are coming in. The Colossus from the side is not going to be enough. These Marauders do so much damage to buildings.
Yeah, they really do. Krystianer has to cut all the way back. The Marauder's going to get caught out. The Colossus as well. He will pounce in. He will take out everything. Oh my god.
Oh, I don't know if that was a good move. Oh, Q lost a lot of his army. He did not get the Nexus. He didn't get the Immortals. He got one of the Colossi, but was that worth his entire army there?
I would have said yes if he had gotten the base. I assumed he did. I mean, it was 1 shot away. Like, 1 shot away from going down. It wouldn't have taken much at all there. So, as you mentioned, the base does survive. That's a big win for Krystianer, but he's now down to 1 Colossus. At the same time, though, he's making 2 Colossus at a time.
Yeah, and he's getting thermal lance as well. So that was not worth it. I mean, if Q didn't jump on top of that Colossus, if you could just kite it a little bit away and at the same time, throw in one more volley on that Nexus, he would have gotten the Nexus and kept his army. And maybe even got one of the Immortals.
Yeah, I mean, I would have been fine if he was just going the base. Like same trade, just going the base, it would have been fine. But alas, he didn't quite get it. With this, we do have a more even supply here instead. We're trying to keep up here with the movement. Likewise, Krystianer, he's now getting a little bit more out of hand. 3 Colossus now, and soon he can start working on those disruptors.
Ay, ay, ay. 3 Colossi with thermal lance are so scary, and plus 2 weapons. It's like storm. It's like endless storm. Every second or so, there's a storm on your army.
Is going to be moving forward here. Likewise, does get scattered here by the mine. Cure getting in position. This time he still has no Vikings. Viking production just began, and Krystianer, he can now lay siege upon the base upon the 3rd.
She might even get some workers with those thermal lances with the range. It does manage to get some zealots into the natural base again.
Yeah, he gets a couple of SCVs.
Well, all this is going on.
Yeah, as Krystianer tried to push in, he got shelled away at by these 3 tanks, and he cannot push in. He has to back off, took a lot of hits, took a lot of damage, has to respect it, has to pull away, and the game will continue. Disruptor production has now begun for Krystianer.
Yeah, and he respects those tanks by gaining a 5th base. That's how you respect these.
Yeah, Bio-Army's out of position.
Snipe one of the tanks. I mean, he can't really stay. That's not a big Protoss army, but it is relying on these Chargelot run-bys to just keep Cure from getting any momentum.
Yeah,
at least economically.
Denies the 4th expansion. Krystianer, he does rotate over. This time the Sensor Tower does spot the rotation, so Cure, he is keeping up with this. But the tanks are trying to keep up as well. They're a little bit further back, which means his 4th base is under fire.
Unlike the previous game, Cure does have Vikings now, and they are in position to jump on top of this Colossi. This base will probably be saved. Repair for the win! Walkers Union unite!
They'll say the expansions out at the same time they hit the mineral line. They don't get too much done, but they will distract Cure. They do pull away in time, just preserve those zealots.
Krystianer trying to push again up this ramp, but this so many. How many marauders do we? We have 28 marauders and 25 marines. 1 ghost, only 1. You only need 1.
Yeah, we have
very conservative.
2 more ghosts on the way, trying to build up. Oh my god, trying to build up that ghost count. Likewise, the Colossus are going to be forced back, and the first Colossus is finally going to go down. Gets 1, gets 2.
Second Colossus goes down. But the disruptors are in. The butt clenching.
Nova's a crazy army. We get some okay connections. 2 Marauders going to be going down. Nothing major here, but damage nonetheless. As Krystianer finally does pull away, but he does reinforce with more disruptors.
There is a Raven here, so we can detect the observer of Krystianer, which is a good catch there. Does lose some more units to the Novas, but now Krystianer is out of Novas, and Cure is just surrounding him.
Zealots, they do charge in. Marauders, they get surrounded. Krystianer, he will take the fight. The Nova earlier did catch 2 of the Ghosts as well, so a lot of Ghosts are going to be going down.
We probably had some EMPs here, but I never see the EMP effect. I don't know why. It's so invisible to me.
It landed. EMPs did land, but the Nova's a pop-off. That was like, what, 5, 6 Ghosts going down? Yeah, 6 Ghosts do fall in that fight. Those are brutal, expensive losses for Cure, but he does get his 4th base.
Now, Cure did kill a lot of the high-value units for Krystianer, but he didn't do any economical damage in this attack. Nothing.
No economic damage yet. Krystianer is trying to rebuild, trying to step back up. Cure, he does claim his 4th expansion, and Cure, he is sustaining himself here on these 4 bases, just trying to keep up with these rotations. As you mentioned, though, Krystianer, he has so much freedom, even going for the goal.
That is wrong. Krystianer coming into the 3rd base of Cure. He almost immediately goes down, even with all the defenses. Yeah, Disruptors trying to snipe the tank, not quite making it, but the Blink Stalkers managed to finish the job. This is looking so bad for Cure right now. The economy is going to go to dive really bad against Krystianer's 6 bases.
Yeah, really solid dive there from Krystianer, catching out the CC, sniping it as you did mention. Will take some EMPs to the face, so he has to be careful about engaging. But Krystianer, he reinforced with more zealous, and he wants to push in. He wants to send it up. Oh my god.
Decent Novas here. The Terran army is still standing and it's in pretty good health. The medivacs are running very low on energy though. A couple more of these engagements and they'll pretty much be dead weight in this army.
Exactly, as Novas just keep gaining more and more value, and again, Krystianer, he can be a little bit wasteful as well. As you mentioned, he has a better economy, so he can go for some more inefficient fights because these are trades that he can afford and trades that Cure cannot.
Once again, the Terran is just forced to constantly rebuild and remake the army over and over and over again. Whereas Krystianer does lose a lot of these high-value units in every fight. Oh, yeah, so many Immortals, Colossi, and 10 Disruptors died this game.
Yeah, that was like already 5 Disruptors going down in that one fight. That was insane how many Disruptors did go down. Novas were okay, but again, Cure, he does trade better than his opponent, does outtrade Krystianer. Meanwhile, he will land his main. The main base does float over as the third, so Cure getting desperate.
Is out trading Krystianer in terms of army, but Krystianer has such a better economy that he can just eat those losses and just remake the units and still be ahead.
Can rebuild, he can remake. Once again, Krystianer diving in, collapsing with their charge slots.
Medivacs are out of energy. This army is just so low on health already. Disruptor shots doing a lot of damage here. And now the Colossi are coming in from the behind to mop up the rest, with the charge lots at the front and the stalkers for backup. Even the Vikings can't get to them.
Yeah, they just
barely has any army left.
Yeah, we come in for the surround as well. Again, there just aren't enough Vikings. Gets into the mineral line, and Cure, he's on his last legs. More Colossus coming to reinforce, and the final Viking did go down. And again, Krystianer, despite Cure coming in for the first time, despite his debut being here tonight in the Sparkling Tuna Cup, he will not be walking that royal road. GG gets called, and Krystianer, he will take the 2-0, knocking Cure out of the tournament.
Woo! That was an intense series. Oh boy. It's very rare to see like a TvP go into like an economy battle, right? Usually it's like you have like one decisive battle that really makes the difference, but here it was like 2 games that were a giant battle of attrition between the 2 players.
Yeah, it was both game 1 and game 2 where Krystianer had the better economy, right? He was able to, I should emphasize, he was able to gain map control early on, right? He was able to gain map control early on, and with that map control, he was so fast to get a 4th base, get a 5th base, you know, just make sure he maintained that and make sure he took advantage of that with a superior economy. And Cure had a really hard time being active, breaking out, and doing anything across the map.